All right, everyone. We're all watching the world around us. We all see all types of strange and unusual activity taking place, scripts being followed, some not followed, and so on and so forth. We see the overreaching of surveillance all over the place, flock cameras, and everybody wants to know what you're doing, but you cannot know what they're doing, and all this nonsense, right? So, I just got out of meditation and I figured it's something we could talk about. So we're going to call this one, what we talk about today, the rebellion of silence. So if you ever watch those old psychology experiments where they drop a rat in a maze and they make it run through dead ends to find the cheese, you notice that they never show what happens when the rat stops caring about the cheese. That is kind of what waking up feels like now. You stop chasing the rewards you were trained to want and you start asking, wait, what the hell am I doing here? That's usually when the experiment loses control because you have stopped playing. You have opted out, at least mentally. The thing about modern life isn't that it's meaningless. It is that it's manufactured meaning. It's an artificially flavored purpose, diet existence. It looks like life, but there's no, let's say, nutrition to it. And we've been sold happiness lives, that it lives somewhere at the end of a graph. You know, higher income, bigger house, more likes, more money, etc. But every rat that has chased that cheese realizes the maze just keeps extending because they keep moving the walls every time you get close. And at some point, you have to stop running and take a breather and ask yourself, maybe I don't want to win a game designed to make me feel like I'm always losing. And I think that's what real sanity looks like right now. Not pretending you are thriving in some insane environment. Just quietly deciding you don't want to play anymore. Now, you will do what you need to survive, of course, pay the bills, show up, but you just stop selling your soul for dopamine pellets. This isn't rebellion with the fireworks. It's rebellion with stillness. Just sitting there in your own peace and quiet while the world screams for attention and not responding. That's what peace looks like now. Not calm music and candles. Just not reacting and not taking the bait, because the moment you stop reacting, you stop being predictable. You can slow down. You can actually choose to respond rather than react. And that's what freaks the system out. You are supposed to be predictable. You were programmed to scroll, click, consume, repeat. That's the experiment. But when you start noticing, when you start laughing at the manipulation instead of falling for it, you become the outlier. The lab rat that figured out the exit door has been open the whole time. Now, awareness isn't some perfect cure. You're still going to get tired. You'll get lonely, and you'll still get sucked into the vortex and realize you just lost 3 hours watching videos of people cleaning their kitchens or whatever. It's all right. We all relapse. It is important to note here that the point isn't perfection. It is never perfection. We are ever perfecting beings. It is consciousness. It is noticing when you have fallen asleep and when you have been hypnotized by the noise. And when that happens, you pause and say, "Oh, right, I'm in the maze again." And then you step off the wheel. And you know, it it really takes practice. I think that's the muscle worth building. Now, forget productivity and all the toxic positivity that comes with it. Build awareness. Work on emotional intelligence and self awareness. Because, you know, once you have that, you can't fully go back. You know, you still have bad days, don't get me wrong, but you will never again make the mistake that the maze is, is the world or for the world, like it's meant to be the world. So, what do we do with all of this? I mean, how do you live a sane life inside of an insane experiment? Well, I think you simply, not in the performative, curated way, you simplify your mind. It all starts within, on the inside. You gradually remove unnecessary noise, unnecessary goals, versions of yourself built to impress some imaginary audience. And you choose slowness, where everything is demanding speed. You choose boredom and silence in a world that's addicted to noise and where everything begs for constant stimulation. Now, this isn't about quitting technology. It's about no longer being trained and manipulated by it. No longer being a stimulus waiting for a reaction. You will learn to use the tools without letting them use you. It is like taking your mind back from the lab techs. And maybe that's the real point here. We are not lab rats anymore. We are former lab rats telling other rats that there's something more beyond the limits of the maze. Because once you see how artificial it all is, the algorithms, all the fake rewards, the endless hustle, the misguided outrage, the endless performance of self, you realize there's something much quieter, and underneath it, all much older and real connection, real thought and stillness. The kind that doesn't fit neatly into a algorithmic feed. And I think when you find that, even just for a moment, you start to remember what being human actually feels like. The digital version starts to dissipate and you begin to remember the real, the inconvenient, unoptimized kind. So maybe the goal isn't to win the experiment or destroy it or even necessarily to escape it. Maybe it is just to become aware enough to laugh at it, to stop giving it power, and to see the absurdity of it all. Or to keep your soul intact. Because at the end of the day, the only sane reaction to an insane world is a refusal. I think that's the one thing the experiment can't currently measure, because it's not data, it is defiance. And it can't fathom even why you would defy. So, many of us, maybe all of us, might be lab rats, but at least we are learning to become self-aware ones. And, well, we got to start somewhere. Okay, that's it for me today. I thank you for listening as always, and I look forward to the next time we speak.